right. Well, good morning, dear ones. We are SOTU, and this is SOTUesday for the 21st day of March in 2017. And happy Equinox, everyone. For the time of the light and the darkness, are going to be approximately the same for the dynamic of the equinox and the energies of the equinox. We would remind you go from 3 days before the equinox till the day, and then till 3 days after. So understand the influence of the dynamics of the season, be them in the dynamics of northern or southern hemisphere, whether you be entering the dynamic of spring or you'd be entering the dynamic of fall, are in many ways more impactful than the dynamics of the solstices. And the reason that they are more impactful is because of the, what shall we say, the equal amount of energy from both sides of the duality that are affecting you all at this time of the year. So those of you, and we are here to speak primarily, although the dynamics do apply in a dualistic sort of way to the southern hemisphere. What is occurring right now and what is going to be happening right now is going to be affecting you as individuals for the whole next year, and you. Especially those of you in the Northeast part of the United States, need to understand that by aligning yourselves with the, what shall we say, energies of the solstices and the equinoxes will assist you in movement through the dynamics of your own personal situations and help you to perhaps even achieve a certain dynamic of grace and elegance in the things that you are planting now. Because understand that this is what you are doing. You are planting the seeds for your whole next year. What will you grow? What will you nurture over the summer? What will you grow? What will you harvest in the fall? What will you put away to get yourself through the dynamics of winter? Those of you in the summer, in the southern hemisphere, what are you harvesting now? What has your season been? Understand your weather is a reflection of your emotional, personal dynamics. Those of you in the Northeast, many of you have still have a foot or more of snow on the ground. Those of you that are in the Northwest are swimming, literally, in the dynamics of atmospheric rivers. Those of you in California are swimming also in many ways, and yet many people, like out in Colorado and things like that, and places like that in Oklahoma, are suffering the dynamics of wildfires. Look at these dynamics of metaphors as metaphors, because they absolutely are. They are reflections of the general state, the general emotional tenor of your populace in these particular areas. So please understand that energetically is what is going on right now. So we would have you understand that this is a time for real contemplation. This is a time for really planning your garden, planning your reality, planning what you would wish your life to be coming in the future. And we don't mean in the dynamics of pie in the sky or the dynamics of personal wealth or the dynamics of personal success, because you are being asked a bigger question. Who is it that you are going to be? Again, we repeat this ad infinitum, but we cannot say it enough. Your the divine, the dynamics of growth, the dynamics of movement on a physical, on an emotional, on a spiritual level are all asking you to move forward, are asking you to step beyond this dynamic of competition and comparison, to step beyond this dynamic of Darwinian survival of the fittest, and to become more as a species. And please, those of you that are young, please understand that your confusion comes from the fact that the adults, those of you that have intended and were supposed to be leading you, never moved out of their own dynamics of confusion. So all of you in your own way are reaping the rewards of the reality that you have, what shall we say, set the templates for, set the energy for. Now, understanding that you are actively involved in the creation of this dynamic and the sustaining of the energy, you must understand you're sustaining the energy. Those of you in your world that are and have been successful, that have utilized the system in such a way, dear ones, you're arrogant. And your arrogance is getting in the way of your sanity. Your arrogance is getting in the way. And you are being so easily led down different paths. You're being divided. You're being fractionalized. You are being disempowered because the truth is not really held within your heart. The truth is constantly in a state of being questioned and being doubted in the dynamics of your world. You cannot trust those things that are coming from the outside. And so we would remind you, dear ones, question everything we say. Question everything we say. And then if it rings true for you, do your research. And if it rings true for you, then that might be something that you can take as your own beliefs and your own understandings. Because the beliefs about humanity and the beliefs about who you are changing and are going to be, what shall we say, confronted in many ways over the next few months. By this time next year, we do not believe you are going to recognize your reality any longer. Now, this is a double-edged sword. For some of you, this will be trauma and melodrama and pain and suffering. And for some of you, it will be the greatest opportunities of your lives. You all chose to incarnate now, to be involved in this dynamic of movement, this dynamic of growth. We would describe it as a movement from the adolescence of your species to the adulthood, where you begin to recognize that the dynamics of fairness are ingrained in the moral fiber of all primates. And dear ones, you are primates. Go back to the understanding of your more primitive ancestors, and you will gain insights into yourself and who you really are. Understand that before you were interfered with, you could manifest simply from the dynamic of collective desire. But now, you have moved to an incredible place, a place of individuation. Now, unfortunately, for so many of you, this dynamic has moved, if you consider it a pendulum swing, way too far in one direction. So you feel isolated and you feel alone. But if you simply begin to set your intent to make the moves to begin to come back together, to realize that you are all one humanity, and that when you begin to all work together toward a common end, Come in. It doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be socialistic. It doesn't have to be anything like that. The movement of earthly humanity and the movement into your adulthood is a creative endeavor. We hesitate to give you too many details of what it's going to look like because, dear ones, from your truth and from the understanding of who you really are as reality creators, each one of you are creating your reality in every moment of every day through the things that you believe. As you begin to question those beliefs, especially those of you that think you already have the answers, as you begin to question those beliefs, you begin to allow yourselves to move beyond the limitations that you have imposed upon yourselves and give yourselves to the opportunities to create a reality beyond your imagination. We love you all so very, very much. We are so too, and this has been SOTUesday for the Equinox. The 21st day, we realize it was yesterday, the 21st day of March, 2017. The beginning of the rest of your lives. We love you, dear ones, and so until the next time we close, sending you peace, sending you happiness, sending you joy.